Call this regular monthly meeting of the St. Bernard Parish School Board to order. We'll open with a prayer. Superintendent Bocce.
Dear Heavenly Father, through your grace we gather together this evening, asking for your guidance as we make decisions which affect our community and its children. As we enter our last quarter of the year, we pray for our students, their parents, and our teachers. Give all of them the energy and enthusiasm to end this year of teaching and learning at the same level we experienced in August with the start of the new year. Be with us as we begin plans for summer programs reaching over 1,000 students, and help us to continue to put our best efforts forward. These things we ask in your name.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Superintendent Bocce, would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Acevedo? Here. Mr. Campbell?
Here.
Mrs. DeFatta is not with us. Mr. Egan?
Here.
Mr. England?
Here.
Mrs. Dysart?
Here.
Dr. Kraft?
Here.
Dr. Lewis?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Nicosia?
Here.
Mr. Warner?
Here. Ms. Penizak, do we have anyone signed up for the community concerns?
No, sir, that's night. No, sir.
Okay, we'll move the agenda. Item 4, Daughters of the American Revolution presentation. We'll recognize Miss Faith Moran. Let's see, who else do we have with us?
And company. Faith Moran and company.
Okay. All
And
right.
company.
And company. Entourage.
I'm Faith Moran. I am Vice Regent of the Francois Delry chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution. My sister, Faye Champagne, is the Regent for Francois Delry, and Nadine Meyer is the Chaplain for Francois Delry. And we're here to make a presentation tonight. It's the Mary Smith Lockwood Medal for Education. Just a little bit about that medal. Nominees are sent to Washington, D.C. by the chapters, and the nominee is voted in D.C., in Washington, D.C. This is a national medal that's awarded to the person if the national deems necessary, if they decide that the candidate is worthy. And I also, on another note, Laura Bush received this medal, so that tells you a little bit about it. It's quite prestigious. So I'd like to read a letter that we sent in December to the National Daughters of the American Revolution. It is with a great deal of pleasure that I nominate Doris Voce, Superintendent of the St. Bernard Parish School System, for the Mary Smith Lockwood Medal. To say that Ms. Voce deserves this medal is an understatement. Her remarkable dedication to rebuilding the St. Bernard Parish school system in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina is nothing short of extraordinary. All 20 schools, the administration building, the bus garage plant, as well as every structure in this parish were underwater from the waters of Katrina and remained waterlogged for almost 1 full month. Ms. Voce took matters into her own hands, contacting the members of the school board as well as those educators who were able to return to assist with the opening of a school. She knew that if there was no school system, the citizens of this parish would not and could not return to rebuild the community. Frustrated by FEMA bureaucracy, she used a borrowed computer to make $17.8 million emergency loan to buy portable classrooms and more than 100 travel trailers for teachers. Ignoring all odds against her and the system, she gathered contractors that she knew and began the restoring of one of the system's 3 high schools into a pre-K through 12th grade unified school. In just 11 weeks, she accomplished the goal of a full school system in one building, and families and students began returning to rebuild their lives and their community. She had to deal with everything from textbooks to hot lunches for students, but she succeeded at all levels. Teachers and school board personnel lived in FEMA trailers, and some semblance of home returned to the school system. More than 300 students returned to attend school. She succeeded in spite of obstacles that would make most people stop in their tracks. Her record of math teacher, comptroller, assistant superintendent, and superintendent is one that no one else will ever be able to duplicate. No event matches what Hurricane Katrina and then Rita did to a community, destroying or flooding every structure in its path, with the exception of the parish jail. She was named 2006 St. Bernard Business and Professional Women's Club Woman of the Year and was 2007 John F. Kennedy Profiles in Courage Award winner. Caroline Kennedy stated, "Despite insurmountable odds, Doris Fauche rebuilt the schools of St. Bernard Parish, making sure the children of her community had a place to learn and grow when they returned home." Former First Lady Laura Bush has visited the parish and attended the annual Day of Reflection on the anniversary of Katrina, praising Ms. Fauche's dedication to educating the parish's children. As we reach the midterm of the 2013-14 school year, her vision is almost complete. She has rebuilt 17 of the 20 schools, as well as setting in place for the future the rebuilding of the very first high school in the parish that will be a teaching tool on Katrina and its aftermath. Her story is one that is timeless. If you want something done right, do it yourself. Doesn't that sound like Doris? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Her courage, her courage and determination will long be remembered as the parish slowly rebuilds in other ways. Her vision that a community needs an educational system for it to succeed has been proven over and over again. She has built a state-of-the-art school system. Test scores are up, teachers are high on the evaluation scale, and the children are succeeding in their quest for education. Although it is going to take many more years, slowly but surely, St. Bernard Parish is rebuilding stronger than it was before Katrina and Rita. And everyone who has returned to St. Bernard can thank Doris Fauche and her unprecedented determination to rebuild the entire educational system, literally brick by brick, for the success of the current generation of students and those that will follow in years to come. As a retired assistant principal in this wonderful system, it is my pleasure to nominate Doris Fauche for the Mary Smith Lockwood Medal for Education. Sincerely, Faith F. Moran. And Doris?
This turns it on and that takes the picture. Okay, I'm gonna turn it on.
Oh, did everybody see? Isn't this beautiful?
I think we need to make Ms. Fauche go around the circle and take things.
I'm gonna take one of you all.
I'll take one more. That's for you guys. I'm going to take one more for us, okay? Hold on, one more. One more. Got it. Speech, speech.
Yeah, Ms. Moran, Ms. Champagne, Ms. Myers, thank you so much for coming and giving an appropriate award to a very deserving individual. We thank you very much.
Well, apparently the National Daughters of the American Revolution agreed with us
Yes.
when we nominated Doris.
Well.
So we're very proud of her.
Let me just say something, please.
Sir, you got the floor.
Yeah. Faith, you know, I just want to thank y'all. I had no idea you were doing this.
I know. We swore shall be the secrecy.
Okay.
We can get a secret over.
But I do have to say something. You know, I mean, I guess ever since the storm and stories grow and things seem to get bigger sometimes than life, and I'm most appreciative, and we all worked so hard. But as I've said before, you know, when it says Doris Fauché did this and did that in your nomination, I didn't do anything by myself. I mean, this school board who sits around this horseshoe with me were instrumental in every step of the way in our accomplishments and directing actions and working together. The teachers, the administrators, some of whom I have sitting over here, and the teachers who stuck with us and came back, and the administrators, that was the team that we worked together and made it all happen together. So I thank you so much for this, but you know, I hope everybody realizes it's not any one person that does anything like this by themselves. So it was a tremendous effort by a great many people. I just like all the charmers out here, we're all young ladies, to understand too that as young ladies you can direct the action in any business or any endeavor that you're in and take those leadership roles. But it takes a great team, as y'all well know, to make something wonderful happen. But you too can be the leader of that team. So I'm so glad that y'all are here, you know, tonight to witness this as well. But I just want to thank you and just make sure that it's said over and over again that the people of the St. Bernard Parish School System did this together.
And I want to say, Doris, that I think you're the engine that runs the train. So, but thank you for those kind words, and we certainly feel that this is well deserved. And yes, it was a team effort. We understand the school board rallied behind you, so you were able to do the things that you did. So we commend the school board for doing that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Any statements from the board members? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on. A very good presentation, well deserved. Okay. At this time, we'll move the agenda, the Charmer Dance Team recognition. They did a fantastic job representing the state, and I think this was more than state, it was some state American All-Stars competition involved. That was this past January in the National MA competition, in March. Okay, you have anything to say before we get on with the show there, Miss Mitchell? Miss Mitchell is the director of the Charmers, and she does a great job as you see the performance of these young ladies as they move forward in action.
First, I'd like to say thank you very much for recognizing their hard work and all their winnings at state and national competition. It definitely, same thing applies. I just tell what to do, and they do it, but it wouldn't happen if it wouldn't be for their hard work. So I would like to tell all of you thank you, and thank you for recognizing it, because it definitely is meaningful and makes an impact on them for the rest of their lives as well. Just to give you some insight, we competed at state competition, which is held in Lafayette, Louisiana. This year was the weekend before Martin Luther King holiday, so it was January 11th and 12th, I believe, if that was the exact date. In the state competition for high school teams, we compete between 15 to 20 teams overall, approximately in that number. So with that, we received Louisiana State High Kick Champions, which we competed against all those teams for overall, and we were awarded first place for High Kick State Champions, as well as our Louisiana District Champions for Division III, which is based upon your divisions are broken into the number of people that you have on your team. So we were District 3 champions, Division 3 champions for state at nationals. State, sorry. I'm going to tell you who the members of those teams are, and there are other people that will be introduced, but it all breaks down. So first is Amber Barbay, and she is not able to be with us here today. Miss Courtney Bruscata. Start over here. Brittany Castiglione. Mallory Cercello. Sydney Conklin. Lauren Crane. Christian Downs. Annalila Dunham. Katie Gabb. Brooke Gagliano.
Congratulations. Smile. Y'all all know how to smile, huh? It's ingrained.
Hallie Hernandez, but she is not here with us today.
Okay.
Michelle Hazel.
Congratulations.
Jordan Hollingsworth. Madison Kenna. Carissa Kemble.
Congratulations.
Tessa Lopez. Julia Mahler. Brielle Powell.
Congratulations.
Mallory Schulenkamp.
Congratulations.
Haley Sensibi, but she is not with us today. Macy Seven. And Harley Taylor.
Congratulations.
We also just returned from national competition in Fort Worth, Texas, late last night. So we just received our awards at national competition yesterday, and I am very proud to say that 2 years ago we competed at this same competition. They had 1,200 dances that were performed and competed against. We had 45 high school teams that we competed against this past weekend for nationals, and we placed second in jazz, kick, and military, and third for poem. So with that being said, 2 years ago, we only placed in one division, which was military. So we are definitely improving with a much larger span of people that we are competing against. So you also, as you're on your proclamation, you're awarded for that as well. The next group of people I'd like to introduce that definitely adds to making the team run so well, and I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't have a small group of leaders that help me many of times, just conducting the team, doing whatever needs to be done, and those are our officers. And at state, we placed first for officers and with their officer routine, and at nationals, they placed first for nationals for officers. Wow. So those people are Emily Jones, who's our 5th lieutenant, Miss Caitlin Mills, she's our 2nd, I think, Nikki Stone, Ashlyn Nikosha, and Juliet Michelik.
Congratulations, Nate. Ashlyn, congratulations. Julie.
Our last two officers is Erica Lightel and Alexis Schallenberg. But I would like to also note that they competed together in a duet number. At state, they placed first. First, yes, making sure I'm not losing it. Okay, first at state for duets out of any duet that was competed against, and they placed first, and there are many of those there. And at nationals, they both placed for second at national competition.
Fantastic.
Erica competed with a solo at state, and she placed third overall for state, which there is approximately 45 soloists, maybe a little bit more. She placed third. And Alexis Schallenberg placed first for state soloist, so she is our state soloist champion for our soloist. And for nationals, she competed against 180 soloists, and she placed first, so she is our national soloist champion. This is Erica Lightel and Alexis Schallenberg, and they are also officers with our team.
Congratulations, Erica. Must be a great dancer. Congratulations.
And we also have a proclamation presentation to Ms. Mitchell.
Thank you.
See that come around in horseshoes.
So thank you very much for recognizing us. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell, and thank all you young ladies there and everybody that helps with your team. You've done well, and we appreciate you, and we're really proud of you. So thanks a lot.
We're gonna maybe could we take a little recess and take a picture?
Hey, let's take a break, a picture break.
But before we do that, y'all are all just outstanding dancers, and I think anywhere you go in the metro region, anywhere in the greater New Orleans area, and you say Chalmette, and they go the Chalmette Charmers, Chalmette High Charmers, and they you're known far and wide and for your excellence. But I think as well as how well you dance and how well you perform at different events and ball games, you go and they say what great young ladies each and every one of you are, and what wonderful representatives of Chalmette High School and the St. Bernard Parish community. And that is really, I think, the most important thing and the thing that we like to hear the most. So while you may be great dancers and great performers, you're also great young people. And that's what we are most impressed with. So we thank each and every one of you for representing our school and our community, and your parents over there who entrust you to us each and every day. We thank them too. So we need to, I think, take a picture and celebrate.
It's good to see Chief Stone and his wife back there. Well, one thing about it, I taught Chief Stone.
I just want to also take the opportunity to congratulate each and every one of you, and thank you for representing Chalmette High School and St. Bernard Parish. Whenever anyone mentions the Charmers, as Ms. Foche said, it's always with great esteem, and your precision, your discipline, everything is just fantastic. And so thank you for representing us so well. And when they say Charmers, we know it's something to be reckoned with, because y'all are awesome. I love to watch y'all perform. I know everyone out around this table does. Y'all are just really, really put forth such an effort and do a great job. And Ms. Mitchell, thank you for all of your hard work and being a coach for the Charmers. They, again, they're always very consistent and just very disciplined.
Thank
and
you.
it takes a lot of hard work.
Also mention, just so we all know, that they all know that academics is key, and there is no one on the team with less than a 3.0.
Very good.
That's even better.
Right.
That's what I wanted to tell you.
Very good. Thank you for adding that, and congratulations to the parents. We know you're very proud of them also, and follow them to many of the competitions and, you know, for the practices and all that. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take a recess.
Take a break.
Well, we'll call the order of the school board after the recess for picture taking. We appreciate the Chalmers and their director for being with us tonight. And we'll move the agenda on to item 7, motion to incorporate the report of the March 11, 2014 General Committee meeting into the minutes of the March monthly meeting. I have a motion. Ms. Acevedo, move. Ms. Second by Ms. Dysart. Any questions relative to this report before we call for the vote? Hearing none, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Moving to item 8, motion to approve the following minutes. Special meeting of October the 8th, 2013 is published on February the 28th, 2014. Moved by Mr. Campbell, second by Mr. Egan. All right. Any questions relative to the special meeting? Hearing none, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Moving forward in the agenda to the special meeting held on December the 10th, 2013, as published on February the 28th, 2014. Motion by Dr. Lewis. Do we have a second? Mr. Nicosia, second. Do we have any questions relative to this? Hearing none, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Okay, we invite Mr. Granberry on item 9 to review the personnel changes with us for March 2014.
Good evening. The yellow highlights are the changes from last time.
No, those additions were not on the last, at the general committee meeting.
The changes will start taking place next month. You know, putting an advertisement out for transfer day tomorrow, and transfer day will be April the 12th. and then-
Getting close. Yes, Ms. Dasha.
Thank you, Dr. Kraft. I know we mentioned at the committee meeting, but I still think it's fit to mention Ms. Carol Ortega, who's retiring after many, many years, and just to let her know that we appreciated her many years of service, a dedicated service. She was an excellent teacher and did a great job with all of her students, so we thank her and wish her a very happy retirement. And also happy retirement to Rebecca Koval, who's also retiring, and we thank you for your many years of service. And Nancy Fitzmaurice,
Simons.
Fitzsimmons, who is also retiring, and we thank you for your many years of service, and we wish you a very happy retirement. Thank you.
Anyone else, Mr. Campbell?
Yes. The ones from Goche, is this Teach of America?
One of them is, one had a baby and is going to stay home with the baby. Miss Fitzsimons was a retiree who returned to work and decided it's time to go, and the other two are moving out of town. It's not a problem, believe me. They don't, it's not like they want to leave, but, you know, some are going back home to where they're from, you know, out of town.
Good, thank you.
It does look, it looks funny,
Yeah.
but it's not. It just,
They all got
what-
their letters in.
we have
There
a
was
principal at the
an
school that
accident.
believes in efficiency, so she made sure they got their letters in on time, you know, so,
Yeah.
so that would be ready to advertise for transfer day.
Yeah, because sometimes people have a tendency to wait and then get the resignation later,
Yes.
later, maybe in the summer, or before
Right.
August.
Or they're or sometimes they're just
Well,
uncertain. They
well-
think they're going to be, but until we get an actual letter, then
Mm-hmm.
we don't know for sure.
That's correct.
Let me add.
Mr. Campbell, you've got the floor.
Yeah, let me add to that, because they have done such a wonderful job, the whole staff at Goat Chain. And I'm sure they'll be missed.
And like I said, they're reluctantly leaving, you know.
Good.
It's not like they, you know, they being pushed out or anything like that. They just moving out of town, and it's like, I've gotten some very nice letters about how great it's been and the experience has been and so on and so forth, but.
Thank you.
That's good. Yes, Mr. Long.
Mr. Cranberry, concerning the retire, return to work, that's, as I understand it, no longer available?
No longer.
Right,
But Ms. Fitzsimons
Yeah,
was
she
in
had already
before,
done
she
that
was in
before.
before. you know.
right.
No, that's not available.
It's not available anymore because of a new state law, right?
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Long. Anyone else? Okay, we thank you for bringing us the report, Mr. Granberry. We'll move the agenda to item 10, motion to approve the administrator's request to renew property insurance, and it was recommended by the committee. Motion by Mr. England, second by Mr. Campbell. Okay, Mr. Halton, I believe you're on. Can you tell us all you know about this in a minute or two less?
Well, again, this is the recommendation from our attorney, our agent of record. After he did the market survey, he came up with this layered coverage. And I think I had mentioned last time that this was kind of a win-win situation because the rates went down and our premium went down, even though our insured values went up quite a bit.
Dr. Gray?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the recommendation. Or is,
We already have
oh, I'm sorry, there's.
We got a
okay.
motion.
This is
and a
just
second.
discussion.
Any questions of Mr. Halton relative to this property insurance renewal? Here none, we have a motion and a second on the floor, so we will vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Item 11 on the agenda, motion to approve the administrator's request to advertise for bid the official journal, and there was a recommendation by the committee. Motion by Dr. Lewis, second by Mr. Warner. Any questions relative to this? Here none, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Agenda item number 12 was the motion to approve the administration's request to advertise for bid for vehicle painting and repairs. There was a recommendation by the committee. Moved by Ms. Dysert, second by Mr. Egan. Yeah, you're doing good. Any questions of Mr. Halton relative to this agenda item? Hearing none, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Item 13, the motion to approve the administration's request to advertise for bid for gasoline, diesel, and other fluids. And there was a recommendation by the committee. Motion by Mr. Warner, second by Ms. Aceveda. Any questions? Hear none, vote your machines.
Motion passes 10-0.
Okay, Madam Superintendent.
I just wanted to give you just a very brief update. This already has been a very busy legislative session, as we talked about 2 weeks ago. We just had some meetings with our state superintendent to try to put some amendments on certain bills, legislative bills that we had some difficulty with. There are the pre-K bills, the 4-year-old bills up there that if they would have been passed or would be passed in their current form, would take local control away from school districts and put it in the hands of the state in terms of enrollment and registration and placement of students. And I was on a conference call this morning, and hopefully we have some amendments attached to those bills which will make them more palatable and allow us to retain the local control of those preschool programs. Tomorrow in Baton Rouge will be the Education Committee hearings, and we'll be up there for those particular hearings on certain bills. And afterward, we're going to be meeting with some of the legislators over some of the Common Core and park assessment bills as well, to try to modify them in some way that it would be better for our students here in St. Bernard as well as across the state. So while it seems like the session is just getting started, there's a great deal of activity in the education bill arena, and we're right in there in the middle of it, trying to make sure that our students are represented and that the educational opportunities for our students and the control of the educational opportunities for our students remain here in St. Bernard Parish and in the local communities where it should be.
Thank you, Superintendent Voce. I just have to sometimes be blunt, but it's a dumb idea to put pre-K or four-year-olds in the hands of the state. They've got enough to say grace over already, and the closer you are to the students, the better off everyone will be, and including the students. And we must keep our eyes on the students, because that's what it's all about.
Well, actually, there's some bills, and I think it's a little disconcerting. There's a bill to move, and I think it's pretty well a done deal. All of the early childhood programs and daycare programs, birth to 5-year-old, move them out of the control of the Department of Health and Hospitals, which oversees daycare centers and licensing and such, and they're moving under the State Department of Education's control. So licensing and such is moving under them, and as well as, and what I'm trying to do is, and one of the discussions we're having is trying to get that split to the point, because in our regular educational system, we deal primarily, as we all know, we have a universal 4-year-old program, and then we educate 3-year-olds with disabilities, and even younger than that, because there's a whole different set of laws dealing with children with disabilities in terms of child search and some early services to them. But we as a school system in the community are not necessarily in the business of birth, infants up until the 4-year-olds. So our effort is to try to split that a little bit, because we do want the control of our preschool program, but I don't think any of us want to get in the business of oversight and coordination and control of daycare programs. That's better left in the hands of the people who are currently doing that. So at that point, that was a major topic of discussion and trying to get some amendments into the bills, because there were 2 bills up there which are consolidating all those services under the Department of Education, and them wanting to do a common enrollment process and oversight and coordination process for all of those programs. So that's just one of the many issues, that we're dealing with. That as an educational system here in St. Bernard Parish, and what this board oversees right now, is the education of 4-year-olds and younger than that, children with disabilities. But beyond that, I don't think anyone wants to get into the business. So,
Yes, because.
nor have the 4-year-olds taken away from us either, which is the
No,
flip side.
no. In other words, this is a continuum in beginning at the 4-year-old right on, making a transition to the other grades, and that's important. Now, when you get in infant care and that, you need a licensing process from the state, and you need monitors that come in and randomly check to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be able to keep that license. But no, we do not want to get in that type of business. That would be taking it from the public and dealing with a private entity, so to speak, and we don't need to be. We got enough to do in that other arena, but we don't want something taken away from us that we know that we're capable of handling and
And
handling
we've
efficiently.
spent since 2001 investing in a universal 4-year-old program.
Which we're about the only parish, or is it one more that has a 4-year-old program?
No, there are a few now that have universal 4-year-old programs, but we and West Feliciana were the first two in the state to have a universal
Well,
4-year-old program.
Looking back, that was a great investment.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely. Yes, Ms. Dawson.
Speaking of the pre-K program, registration applications are available, right, Ms. Voce?
Yes,
At
ma'am.
Joe Davies as we speak.
Yes.
And the registration is kind of divided up by the alphabet of your last name, so check your newspapers for those dates to
Absolutely.
apply.
And the earlier the better, because it's, we need to get all of the information in before we can place a child. So making that first contact, getting your application in with all the information and making sure it's all packaged together, it's very, very important. So the earlier that it gets done, the better it is.
I believe tomorrow night we have a concert at Chalmette High, is that correct?
Correct.
Do you know the time of that?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Thank you, Ms. Dawson. So,
Thank you, Ms. Dyson.
yeah, all board
Someone
members
go.
are certainly invited
Okay.
to attend that. It's always a highlight to see them perform. So,
And Dr. Kraft, if I could add also, I was told that the concert band, Chalmette High School's concert band, competed today in the LMEA, and they were graded as excellent overall band. So they did an excellent job, and this was the first year ever that they went to Chalmette High School Cultural Arts. They were the host. We were the host, rather, at Chalmette High School, and so that was quite an honor for St. Bernard Parish and to host the LMEA.
Yeah.
And congratulations to the Chalmette High School band.
absolutely, coming to St. Bernard. Well, we have the facilities to host things like that. Usually it's somewhere within the region, but we're glad that our young people got the excellent, because I believe that's about as high as you can go on the scale of not extracurricular activity like that. So thank you for bringing that to our attention, Ms. Dysart. Anyone else have anything to do before we call for the adjournment?
For the next meeting, excuse me, Dr. Kraft, for the next meeting, Mr. O'J, could we have the update for the construction for Chalmette, Raleigh, and the Moment Center?
Okay.
If there's an update on it, because I noticed they got a lot of work going on at Raleigh right now.
Yeah, getting those walls.
Yes. Thank you.
That'll be good.
I move, we adjourn.
Thank you. We got a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? Second by Ms. Aceveda. All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. We stand adjourned. Thank you for coming. Have a good night.